it's not my face they see, 'cause they don't know me, and that's okay. These are the parts I play, filling in plot holes with all sorts of roles, 'cause there's no small roles, no small roles, no small roles.
Welcome to No Small Roles. This is the show where I speak with fellow actors about their careers and about some of their smaller roles in big movies and TV, and how these roles are in fact not at all small for the actors who play them. Now, today's guest, I have an actor who is a veteran of the business. He's been doing this for over 3 decades. He's a buddy of my friend Bill, which makes him my buddy as well. Everyone, please welcome Jayden Lund, or is it Jay?
I go by Jay, but my full name is Jayden Lund. So yeah.
I mean, if they're looking you up actor-wise,
Yeah, you look me up. It's got to be Jayden Lund. Yes, I'm sure. I wonder how many people when I meet them, I go, "Hey, my name's Jay Lund. Nice to meet you. Yeah, are you an actor? Yeah, I'm an actor." And then they drive off. I'm going to go look. I don't find Jay Lund. He hasn't done much at all.
He's a liar.
Exactly. So my full name's Jayden Lund. That's what I signed up when I joined SAG. I did my full name, and I guess I just kind of stuck with that. But Robert De Niro goes by Bobby. I just felt that was not going to be confusing at all. But I never got as famous as Robert De Niro.
I don't have that. I just have Ian. I can't do anything.
Perfect. Oh yeah, that's all you need. Boom, Ian. No.
All right, it works. I mean,
yeah, I love it. I love it.
Like Jayden. Jayden is like are all Jays Jaydens? No, aren't they Jasons
no.
as well?
Oh yeah. Listen, everybody thinks that Jayden was a name made up in the 90s. Obviously, I'm older than that, so I'm probably the oldest Jayden you're ever going to meet.
You're
pretty
the first
sure about
one.
that. Yeah, but yeah, in the 90s it blew up. Britney Spears named her son Jayden, and Will Smith named his son Jayden, and it exploded in the 90s. So yeah.
You're the original. I get it too, because my name, like when I was growing up, everyone called me Ann because they didn't know Ian, at least in the States.
Oh, yeah,
in
yeah,
England.
that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, you have been at this for a couple of years. And so you have like a ton of credits on IMDb. I'm going to read just a few to remind people what they know you from, because they certainly do. Here it goes.
All right.
Law and Order, What I Like About You, ER, The Shield, Crash, the Oscar-winning film, King of Queens, Charmed, Revenge, Superstore, Kung Fu Panda, Secrets of the Scroll, Monk, Medium, Dexter, Private Practice, How I Met Your Mother, The Informant, Up, Grey's Anatomy, True Blood, Shameless, 911, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Hacks, and like I said, so much more, but I can't do this for the next hour and a half.
Right. No, that's good. That's good. That's that's a good piece of it.
Yeah, so we've all seen you and stuff. But before we get into that, I want to ask you a question to break the ice, which I ask of everyone that comes on here. It can make some people emotional. For example, when I asked our friend Bill the same question, this is how he reacted.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So first he beat himself up, then he started to bawl. So just, prepare yourself.
Oh, all right. Ooh, all right.
Do you prefer grilled cheese with or without tomato?
Without.
I think I'm with you. I am. I was just thinking about it right before. I'm like, without, it's pure. Like American cheese, what kind of cheese or anything?
Yeah, I have a thing with tomatoes anyway, and I do love tomatoes, and I love the taste, but I have a texture thing. And the inside of a tomato, when it gets a little sloppy and stuff, if you cut around the outside and just put that tomato in, I'm fine with it. But when it gets a little much, I don't know. It's just I'm not a fan.
That is a response I've gotten from quite a few people. The whole texture.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. Like I thought I was the only one. Wow.
Oh no. I'll play them all back for you after.
No, that's great to know. I'm not alone.
So you, because of your tomato choice, I think you're very smart. You, I believe, were born and lived in Kansas City, Missouri till you were about 2. I stalked you a little bit.
Wow.
And you are friends with our friend Bill. So clearly you're a very intelligent man.
Okay.
So why are you an actor?
Ooh, that's a great question. I will always want to be an actor. I remember as a kid doing performances for anybody who would watch. My parents, unfortunately, my dad didn't care for that, but I had to do shows for him and my mom. And this is, I mean, as far as I can go back, like 4 or 5 years old. If I saw a TV show, I wanted to reenact the TV show that was funny, and I make my parents laugh again because they laughed at the show. I was just obsessed with making them laugh.
That was okay. So that was it. You're seeking that laughter, not necessarily attention, but you like to make other people happy with your
Absolutely. To
performance.
make my dad was the funniest person I've ever met in my life. And when he could make a whole room laugh, that's all that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to do. I
Oh,
wanted to make people laugh. And so I was just obsessed with it. But my sense of humor was different than my dad's. I was
yeah.
silly and crazy as a kid. My dad was this really quick wit, slam somebody, and it was so good and so easy for him. I just, how does he do it? So it was kind of torn. Like, do I just go off and be funny like I'm funny, or try and be my dad? Uh, Man, that's the earliest things I remember about wanting to be an actor.
Did you try to do your dad's version of it though?
Oh,
Of
of
funny?
course. And as I got older, I kind of merged into that. I kind of that didn't come easy for me. That kind of comedy didn't come easy for me. So that was I started working at that, trying to be funny, being very quick. And you take sketch comedy class and stuff like that. You end up getting a Rolodex in your head of punchlines and jokes,
Sure.
of coming back and getting somebody. I didn't like that because it wasn't or something that just came to my mind, or reenact something and go, oh, and I thought that was more enjoyable to do. This was harder for me to do, and I worked at it so hard it wasn't as joy and enjoyable. If that makes
Was it
sense.
in your family at all beyond your dad being funny? Was anyone a performer, an actor, or was it just a
Um,
thing that you're like, this is my thing?
my uncle Doug was the performer. He was in a band his whole life.
Okay.
Up until the end, I think he was always in a band, and he also was the anchor man on the news back home. Uh, so he was the one guy that was on television back home. He was kind of famous. I grew up. I
Oh,
was
that's
born in
fun.
Kansas City, but then I grew up in South Dakota. So he was the anchor man in Sioux Falls, and he was
Okay.
very, very famous in Sioux Falls. And I thought that was really interesting. That if you get on TV, everybody knows you. You walk down the street and everybody, oh, we love you so much on the news. We watch you every night. I was like, wow, that's really cool
Were
that
you always
people know
like
you.
that guy's my uncle? Would you do that all
Yeah,
the time?
exactly. I would. And I go back home and I go, yeah, yeah. If I meet somebody, I go back home and I'm in a bar and I'm like, hey, what are you doing here? And I'm like, oh, I grew up here. And what are we doing back here? Well, how come I don't know you? Oh, I don't know. My uncle was Doug. He was on the news for 35 years. He goes, oh, that's your uncle? Oh, yeah. Changes everything. Changes everything. Drop his name all the time.
Even though your uncle was on television and he's in bands, he's on television as a
Yeah.
news guy. Did you realize that acting was a thing beyond seeing people on TV? Did you realize that was performance? Or were you like, I want to do that? Or how did you realize that was a thing that you could do?
My mom read in the paper one time that there was acting classes for children down at Sioux
Okay.
Falls Community Playhouse, and she talked to my dad about, I think Jay should be do this. I think Jay would really like this, and I think I was 6 years old. So when my dad says, your mother thinks that you'd want to do an acting class. You want to do that? And I'm always terrified. I'm like, I don't know if it would be the right answer with my dad. Like, should I say yes or no? And I go,
Oh,
okay. And I was like, okay. And he was like, all right, well, then she's going to drive you down there. I'm not driving you down there, but she's going to drive you down there every Sunday for class. And I went to these classes, and it was exactly what I wanted. That was the light bulb that went up. It was like, this is acting. Oh, this is exactly what I want to do. This is what I'm. And it was 6 years old. I was like, this, and I got
wow.
those. I did those classes down at the. I don't know, from 6 years old to I think I was 12 or 13, and
Oh
I
my
just knew
God.
everybody in Sioux Falls, every kid from every different high school. There was three different high schools, and by the time I got to high school, I knew every kid that was in theater in all the high schools. So I knew everybody, and it was a great. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad it just got me focused that this is what I want to do.
So you were not shy. It sounds like you weren't shy at all. You just went
No,
for
no,
it.
no. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I remember failing so much in class, and I didn't care. That was irrelevant. Now I'm always terrified, because it's like it's a job now. I can't
It's
screw this
money.
audition up. Yeah, exactly. So this has
Yes.
to work, and you're so
Yeah.
focused. Back then, I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if I fail. These guys know that I've done good work, So if I fail in this class, it doesn't matter. Oh, the good old days of
To
not
bring
worrying.
it back.
Yeah, exactly. I wish I could bring that. Yeah, exactly.
So we discussed this behind the scenes, but we have a segment coming up later in the show called The Kiss and Tell, where you share a behind the scenes story of something that inspired you or
Yes.
turned you off or whatever. In
Right.
one word, can you tease what your kiss and tell is?
Oh man, I narrow it down.
And you can tell as many stories as you want. This is
Okay, all right. Well, one that I want to
hear
tell
them.
is fame. I will say that
Fame.
a famous. Yeah, it's going to be about people becoming famous. Or I don't know. You said
Not
one
about
word,
the
and I'm trying to.
song. It's not
No,
Irene Cara.
no.
Fame.
It's
All right.
when you meet famous people, and you have these. Everybody gives you opinions on that person, and that's what it's about. Yeah.
Okay.
You
Well,
said
so we will
one
come
word, and
back
I'm
to
getting
that.
72.
No, that's good. It was a hint as to what, and we know it's not Irene Cara. Is that how you say her name? Yeah,
Huh?
she's dead. Irene Cara, she
Oh,
sang that song Fame, right?
oh yes,
Fame,
yes,
I
yes,
wanna,
yeah.
yeah. Okay. I wanna know. Sorry, I won't torture you with that. So how do you go from, Sioux Falls, South Dakota performer
Yeah.
to this? America's
What's
Most
this?
Wanted. That is your first IMDb credits.
Yeah, I did. So I moved out. I went to college at South Dakota State, and just realized that this is I got to get out of South Dakota if I'm going to be an actor. I can study anywhere. I can study in New York. So I was like, I'm going to New York. I can study in New York, and I went out there and failed miserably. I didn't even know how to get. Okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but did you
No.
go to New York with also in mind, I'm going to be a stage actor, or did you have
Absolutely. I
Okay,
wanted to be a stage actor. I wanted to be a stage actor. That was by far the best experience of my life, is being on a stage, getting that reaction, or
Yeah.
saying something powerful and dead silence in the audience. That is such a powerful thing to me, and I love the stage. But it's difficult to.
Do you still do stage? I've totally
I
sidetracked what
try
you were
to.
saying, but
Yeah, no. I try to do. I get on stage maybe once every other year. I'll get on stage and do something because I love it so much. But it is hard to
Yeah.
do. It's time consuming, and it takes
It's a
away stuff.
commitment.
And exactly. So you commit to this. Am I sure? If I get an audition, I'd hate to back out if I book something.
Exactly.
But I would.
Yeah.
So I hate doing that, and I've had problems like that in the past. So it's really uncomfortable to do it unless I know I have a chunk of time. Unless I have 6 weeks and I know I don't have anything coming on for the next 6 weeks, I will jump to do something.
Yeah, because you would totally screw them if you had to jump out for an opportunity you couldn't say no to, which happens.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Okay, so you go to New York and you're like, okay, this is where it's going to happen. I'm going to get on these stages, Broadway. What happens?
I failed in every way. I just want to go and say I'll learn on the way. Coming from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, it was embarrassing how little I knew. I just thought, hey, somebody will just grab my hand and go, here, this is how you get an agent. You got to get a picture and resume. This is what you got to do. And you got to put on there. And I just thought, well, I got this great resume. I've done all these plays. I was writing plays in high school plays and stuff. It was like, it's just so embarrassing that I didn't know. I just thought you just put everything on that you've done, and then they see you audition and then you book it. I don't know what the problem is. Oh, it was bad. It was really bad. The business side of this, I knew absolutely nothing.
It's a huge part of it too.
It absolutely is. And I just had to learn the hard way. And I failed, went back home with my tail between my legs, went back to school, went to the University of South Dakota.
After how much amount of time in New York?
I was there a year. A little less than a year, maybe 10, 11 months. I was there.
Okay.
I couldn't quite take it a year. I just had to come back. But, and then I regrouped, got back on stage, started working, and then realized I really cherished being on stage after that. I realized you don't realize this might go away. In college, you're going from one play to the next play to the next play, and this is amazing. I'm getting all this time on stage. You go away
Yeah.
from that. I went a whole year. I was not on a stage, and
Oh, so
I
you were
was like,
starving. You were famished to get back.
absolutely craving to get back on stage. And so I was like, I know I'll just go to the University of South Dakota and I'll just start trying to finish up there. And and it was difficult to get on stage there. It was like, I'm the new guy and they don't know me and I'm transferring. And it was, but once I got on there, I was off to the races. And I worked so hard to prove to them that I was a good actor and that I was
Yeah.
not going to be a pain in the butt. I will work as hard as you want me to work. And it paid off. It just really, we got onto a play called The Illuminati. It's a crazy play, and it was about
Mhm.
religion, and it was a dark comedy about religion, and I just immersed myself into this. It was a two-man show. We did about 5 roles each, and we
Wow.
entered it into this theater festival, or this American College Theater Festival, and we got to do it in St. Louis. And went down to St. Louis, and the audiences were obsessed with it and loved it, and like loved it as much as we did. And I'm like, wow. Then we won the American College Theater Festival and
Oh
got
my
to do it at
God.
we got to do it at the Kennedy Center in
You
Washington
mean the
D.C.
Trump Center?
I'm
Sorry.
sorry. I apologize. Yes, the Trump Center.
Too soon. No.
Ugh. Yeah. But it was incredible experience. It made me feel like I am talented, that I can play anywhere, not just South Dakota. I can be an actor elsewhere. And I wanted to be on stage. And so after that, I did a touring show for a couple years out of Omaha. Loved that
Yeah.
experience. Got a lot of experience going on different stages. And then I said, I'm ready to go. And I went back to New York and really hit it hard. Got an agent. Really doing everything right.
Yeah.
But New York in the 90s, if you're going to go into film and television in the 90s, it was not a hot spot. There was maybe 2 shows going on at the time. And if you
Mhm.
book both of those shows,
Then
there's
you're
not
done.
much on. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You're not.
That's sort of
they're not
how it
gonna
is
call you-
right now.
Oh,
in
is
New
that
York.
right? Oh, I always hear that New York is doing better. There's more stuff coming into New York.
Well, post-strike, it's climbing
Yeah.
its way back.
Right.
As is
So
everywhere.
is LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but when you did those things, you travel, you did the Kennedy Center, was this more of you really found that you were having success more so in yourself, that you found that this really was like, oh man, I'm good at this. Like it fed that thing that it kind of filled in any doubts maybe you had about yourself? Or did you find that it
Absolutely.
gave you some traction?
I think that
both.
it was exactly what I needed. I know I was getting really headstrong at the time. I'm like, I am not concerned with what people think of me in South Dakota. I'm going to work hard and I'm going to work on the things that I need to work on. And that attitude, and once that started paying off, and once I started going, audiences are coming back and saying, this is a great performance. This is one of the best plays I've seen in a long time. I was like, this is it. Now I know. And that's all I need to know. I cleared my head of that. Now let's go hit it. And I don't care if I live in a tiny little apartment in Manhattan for the rest of my life. And as long as I'm able to survive at getting on stages, I don't care. But it is incredibly difficult to try and even get into any play, an off Broadway show. Incredibly hard to get into.
Because that's where everyone goes to be on stage.
Yeah.
So how did that go? Because you hinted at what it's like to try to break into the TV there, but were you able to break into some of those off-Broadway shows? How did that?
No. As a matter of fact, I was just devastated that I couldn't get involved. And here's the funny thing is, I had 2 friends that were out there. And one of them, I don't. Can I say names in here? Does it matter?
Sure.
Jared Emick.
Okay
Jared Emick. Yeah, Jared Emick's from Oral, South Dakota. I've known him. He's been a friend of mine for years. He's also from South Dakota. He went out there. An incredible singer, great looking guy, great actor. He just hit the ground running when he went to New York. He went out there a year before I did, and he was already in Les Mis by the time I got there.
Oh my God.
I could be wrong. He could have been doing Miss Saigon at the time. I forget. But he went from Les Mis to the lead in Miss Saigon, and then won a Tony Award for Damn Yankees.
Wow.
So I'm like, well, I mean, I'm like here going, not to say that I'm competing with him, but I'm like,
No,
I just wanted something. I just wanted a play off Broadway. I don't care, just something. But he was, and then I
he made it
also
look
know,
easy.
yes, yeah, and it
Oh,
was like wow. So then, as I'm struggling, like I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know. I'm confident that in my
oh,
abilities, I know, but
yeah.
I'm not getting there. I'm not getting, and I know I'm a big guy. I'm 6'4", over 3 bills.
But there's
I'm not gonna.
characters to play.
Exactly. I thought this will be perfect. When I'm
It
right
makes you
for a
unique.
role, I got a
Yeah,
great shot. Yeah,
yeah.
but it just wasn't happening. I just, I get the one thing that I had like 3 callbacks on was Victor Victoria, uh,
Oh
when that
yeah.
was on Broadway. It
I
didn't
know the
last very
movie.
long, and they were struggling. It would come, and I would audition, and then 6 months would go by because they lost funding. It would come back again. They'd call me back, and then it would something would happen. Julie, she would maybe couldn't do it, and then it would come back, and she is going to do it. I did again, but that
Julie
was the
Andrews.
one. Yeah, Julie Andrews. Yeah.
Okay.
What did I say, Julia? Or yeah,
Oh no, I
yeah.
think you just said Julie. I wasn't sure.
Oh yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
that's
Uh,
okay. I wasn't sure she did the show as well. I knew she did the movie, but
yeah,
what do
yeah.
I know?
And she, yeah, yeah. I don't know if the show lasted. I know that I was so distraught. I didn't want to learn any more about the show. If it was a
I
huge
get
hit,
it.
I was like, I don't want to know. I don't want to
But they
know.
liked you. They obviously really
Yes,
liked you. Oh,
yes. And I
just
thought,
like
okay,
Sally
this is good.
Field.
Yeah. But
So
I'm sure if I know going to those auditions, it's exactly what you think too. You go on that stage, there's a piano, you hand your music to the piano player. There's 3 heads in the black out there, and you're like, "Hey guys, how are you?" And they're like, "What are you singing for us today?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to sing Stars from Les Mis." And they're like, "Do you have anything else?" No, no, I don't.
oh my
This is the song.
God.
I stayed up all night for this one. Okay, and but before you go on, you see the guy ahead of you, and he's like, "Hi, I'm going to sing this. Hey, Charlie, how are you? Good to see you." And they know him. Oh no, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to sing this." I'm like, "Oh, you know what? Oh, we'd like
And
you
you're
to sing
getting your
this song."
head.
Yeah, and they're like, "Yeah, can you do that? Can you do that?" And C sharp, thanks. And he'll sing that one. And he sang like 3 songs that they wanted. They loved him. It was terrifying sitting backstage watching this guy. And then they bring you out afterwards, and I have one song. This is the one I worked on. It's
But
terrible.
I'm
I
sure
just
you're not alone. I'm sure there's so many other people that were in that situation too that didn't know that
right,
they wanted more.
right. And my size, I do sing, and I did take a lot of singing lessons in college, and
Yeah.
afterwards I kept practicing on singing because I know that's could be something that, but I didn't do a dance. I'm not going to be a triple threat. And they just always ask those questions. Can you
Oh.
dance? I go, I can move well. I can move well for my size, but I just didn't think I'd ever get a role that you want me to dance. Crazy.
It is amazing what a stage actor has to do. They expect so
Yeah,
much
it
of
is.
you. My brother, he did some Broadway. He went to this huge open call and he got Rent. And eventually, after doing Rent for a few years, he hooked me up with an audition for Rent in front of Bernie Telsey, and a couple of other people were there. And they give me these songs, Halloween, the song from the show, and I go there to sing it. They're like, "Okay, go." No voice came out, nothing. I'm like, it would not. I was so nervous. I'm not a stage guy. I applaud
Oh,
you for getting as far and doing
yeah.
everything you've done.
Oh,
It
I
was
appreciate. Yeah.
terrifying.
Another person I want to bring up too is because you brought up Rent is I did a summer theater in Minnesota, and my roommate at the time was Norbert Leo Butts.
Oh yeah, I
Great guy, good friend, and
my brother
I've
worked with
lost
him
touch.
in that. Yeah,
What's that?
my brother worked with him, I guess, in Rent.
He's an incredible guy, unbelievable
Yeah.
actor, and 2 Tony Awards. Another reason why, what is going on? I've worked with both of these guys. They're winning Tony Awards. I can't get a job. I don't. So that's when all right, I guess LA is for me. I guess I just, let's go to LA. Let's tackle this. Uh, just a
Is,
pivot, just as
is LA where not Law and Order? Well, Law and Order did happen as well. That's one of the 2 shows that we're filming in New York. But
yeah.
is that where this happened though? The America's Most Wanted?
Yes, it did. As a matter of fact, that was
Okay.
yeah. That happened. I booked that out of the blue, and I was working a
And you
day
were
job at the time,
okay.
just like whatever job I had to do, and I couldn't take off time for it. But they were doing night shoots down in Philadelphia, so I would take the train down after work,
Okay.
do shoot this America's Most Wanted come back up, and it was like 3 days. I think I had to do 2 or 3 days down there. But man, oh man, I
You
think
must have
I
been
had
so
2 hours.
tired.
2 hours a day of sleeping. Yeah, but I was like, I'm not going to say no to an acting job.
I get it.
I'm going to do this.
That's amazing that worked out.
Yeah, yeah.
But then you booked that other show that if you don't book in New York, then I mean, it's the show you have to book. What was it? This
What it was? Yeah.
Was it the
That's
same time? Around that same time?
Oh yeah. Well, they were maybe 2 years apart. Maybe maybe a year.
Okay.
It's hard to tell. But yeah, they were a little apart. I also did
No
a
small
soap
parts,
opera too
roles.
at the time. Yeah.
Oh, did you? What was the soap?
It was Another World.
Okay. Oh yeah,
I've
heard
never
that
been
one.
able to find it. I don't think it's even on my IMDb because I've tried to put it on and they just say that we can't find it or we can't say that you did it. But I'm like, I did like 6 or 7 episodes as a
Oh my
bartender,
God.
and I've never seen it. It's some of my worst work I've ever done in my life.
It'd be so cool to have though if you could get your
Yeah,
hands
it would
on
be.
it.
And my friends would love where I was just because they just cut, move, they film it. If everybody said their line, moving on. They don't care. And I was a bartender and I'm trying to do bartender stuff, walking behind. And I just happened to be walking by them, wiping the bar down as they go, "How did you know I was going to be here?" And he goes, "Bartender." Because that was his line. Just the bartender told me. And I'm sitting there and he goes, "Bartender?" I go, "Yes." And I just walked away like I thought he was saying bartender, like he wanted to drink, like he was improvising. So I was like, I'll go with improv. Yeah, and they just both look at me like that was his line. He's telling me the
Oh no.
bartender told him. I just said yes, and just looked at both of them and walked. And they said cut, print, moving on. I'm like, oh no, don't put that up. That's embarrassing. That's the worst acting anybody could
I'm
do.
sure it was good.
I don't know. I don't know.
But your Law and Order was also a bartender, right?
Yes.
Well,
And
let's
I
look
think
at
that's
that.
how I got the Another World because they saw me on as a bartender and they called me in because they needed a bartender on Another World, and I think that's
Let's
how I
show
got the job.
people quickly your Law and Order bartender.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
I think this is
I
it.
told you 20 times. These jerks get one drink before they go on.
One free drink.
One drink, period. Now, if you can't remember that, I'm going to have to get someone who speaks English.
Mr. Dobson?
What?
That's it, right?
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
'Cause we had
Oh
met
goodness.
before, so I'm like, I think that's him.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. Oh yeah. I got a funny story about the audition for that. If you
Yeah,
want to hear
tell
it.
me, please, please.
So I went in for an audition. This was one of my first auditions. My agent got me out in New York, and so I went in, and he goes, "Jay, I got your Law and Order." I'm like, "Oh my God, this is good. Just make sure you're prepared, and I'll be ready. I'll be ready." Well, and it was about this guy talking about, it was like an autopsy. So he was like a doctor looking over. He goes, "Did you find the information on the bag?" He goes, "No, I couldn't find anything. Although on the watch band, I did find this. I found a pubic hair. So what you're looking for is a woman, a blonde woman,
No.
and I'm doing it like this, and she's laughing hysterically. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I was in the moment. I'm trying to show. But you're looking at the pubic hair in a telescope. And I went, oh,
Oh, you're not.
oh.
I just
And
holding
she's,
it up.
yeah, and I'm holding him. I'm like, of course she is. Of course.
Let me
Why am
see.
I? Yeah, exactly. It's so embarrassing. And she's crying, laughing. She has tears laughing about it. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I walked out of there, and my agent calls me, and I go, I know. Goes, I don't know what you did, but she loves you. She's bringing you in for a different role next week. She thinks and that was the role that I ended up doing. So she didn't want me for that other role that was too small. She wanted this other one, and
Oh,
I
that's
was like,
great.
yeah. So I was like, all right. I guess I did do well when I thought I just blew it.
Did she make you audition for the bartender as well, or you just got
Oh
it
yeah.
at the point?
And
Okay.
that was another thing too that you learn too is casting directors. She wanted me to get the part, so I'm going in. She comes out.
We're
She
on our
walks back there.
side.
Yeah, she was like, okay, Jay, okay, they want this and they want that, all right. So make sure you don't get too big about it, but they want, okay, all right,
So at that point, so you've booked that. You booked the only show or two in New York
right.
City, and so you're like, I guess I should go to LA.
Yeah, I ended up coming to LA, and it was bizarre because, I was miserable. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I guess I'm just going to pivot and go to film and television in LA.
Yeah.
Came out here, met all my friends that I had, not all my friends, I had several friends that were all auditioning, and none of them, everybody like going, yeah, man, it's tough out here. It's tough, but you just got to keep going. I'm like, oh, I was hoping everybody would uplift me.
New York theater friends or people from South Dakota
Uh,
or college?
Both, but
Okay.
Jared Emick, who I brought up earlier, he had moved to L.A., got a house,
Okay.
was renting a house with his girlfriend, and um, I called him, was talking to him like, man, I'm not doing well in New York, man. I don't know what I'm doing. He goes, dude, get out here. I got a room for you. My girlfriend just moved out. Come stay with me, man. Come stay with
That's
me.
awesome.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, enough said. I'm coming. So that's what I did. And he was, going through a lot of because he was trying to pivot, thinking, I just won a Tony Award. I'm sure they're going to open their arms to me in Hollywood, and that's not always the case. They're like,
Yeah.
I don't know who you are. How did you get an audition for the lead in this? I don't even know who you are. He was getting very frustrated with that. He was like, I can't understand. Well, I got to keep telling people who I am, But that's the difference between Broadway and Hollywood.
And
They don't
film
know
TV,
anything.
very separate. Maybe more so
Yes.
inclusive now than it was back then, as far as seeing
Yeah.
that people could cross over. But
Right, yeah. But I came out here. It was really tough. The first year was absolutely so tough. Couldn't get an agent. I thought I was off and running in New York. Maybe it
yeah,
was my head. I just started thinking maybe it was me. Maybe I'm off, and
we all do that.
yeah. But then this is another name drop. Liz Ticello. She was writer on Sex and the City. She also write.
Okay.
She's just not that into you and stuff. She wrote a play, and it was kind of like a sketch comedy play. It was where women
Mhm.
ran this western town. The woman sheriff and stuff, and she
Okay.
wanted me to play the madam in the saloon that had all the boys. And it was just a
Yeah.
role reversal kind of play. It was
Yeah.
very funny. It went over really well. I did it in New York in a small little theater, and they wanted to do a big production out here in LA. And Liz Ticello, God bless her, they called and asked her, "Can we do this?" And he goes, "Yeah, Jay Lund is out there. If he's available, I want him to play the role of this." And they're like,
That's
"We
amazing.
were actually." Yeah, and she was like, "Well, we were thinking about no. I want Jay to play that role. If he's available, I want him to play that role." So they called me out of the blue and said, "Jay, do you want to do Cheyenne out here?" I'm like, "Yes, I do."
Oh,
And
wow.
that changed my attitude. That changed everything. I was going to get back on stage, do the show, and man,
In LA.
yeah. And I honestly, it will. Everybody says, well, you don't get an agent from doing a play out in LA, Jay, and you don't meet people.
Mhm.
I don't know what happened, but I was meeting people right and left. Bruno Kirby came to the play
Oh.
and he came backstage and was like, "This is incredible." It was asking me questions like, "Why did you make that choice as an actor?"
Oh my God. You're
And
like, this is Bruno Kirby.
I'm getting nervous talking about this because it was like Bruno Kirby is one of my
He's
favorite
great.
actors.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, and he's
Was.
asking me acting. Yeah, he was asking me actor questions.
Wow. That must have
Why
been
did I
like,
come up with that?
I'm doing something
Amazing.
right.
Exactly.
That's a
And
cool.
so
That's a cool story.
yeah. So I was then filled like I'm here. All right, now I'm rejuvenated. I'm my battery's all jacked up. I'm ready
Yeah.
to go now. And so I went and got, and now boom, I got an agent, started things going, got into an acting class. Bruno Kirby got me into an acting class
Oh
where I
my
met
God.
some of my best friends. And when I got into that class, there were a lot of writers in this class as well. And they were, it's called the Actors Gym. They have it in New York and LA here.
Okay.
And Bobby Moresco runs it out in New York. He used to run it out here though. And I met him and I was like, yeah, Bobby, you seem like a great guy. I'd love to work with you. I just don't know if I need to be broken down again in another class and build me back up and start another way of doing.
Mhm.
He goes, it's not like that at all. Come see it. It's not like that. You do what you do. I'll tell you if it's working or not. I'm like, okay, all right, I'll try that. And I got in this class and there were working actors in this class. I'm like, should I be in this
Wow.
class? And I'm like, I recognize I think there was at least two Baldwin brothers that were in that class at some point or another. I'm like, holy cow, this is people I recognize. And
Yeah.
it was an incredible experience. It really drove me to become a better actor. And I worked on things that I wasn't good at as an actor. You know, I wasn't working on comedy there. It wasn't about sketch comedy. It wasn't about being funny. It was about being
Yeah.
real. And that opened up my eyes in a lot of ways. I'm really glad I got into that class.
And do you feel, having had that experience, that led to the next opportunities, or just was it more the confidence that was able to kind of boost you to whatever came next?
So at that time, Bobby Moresco was writing. He's a writer. He
Okay.
co-wrote Crash, and
Yes.
so
The
this
Oscar-winning
class
film, not the David Cronenberg film.
exactly.
Yes.
So they were working on a screen. Him and Paul Haggis were in the class. Yeah, there you go.
There it is.
So when I started the class, we were reading a script, and there were people reading, and then they would ask people to come up, and they're working on a scene that's not working. Can you guys improvise a scene? You know, this woman's mad at him about this, and actors would improv, and they would give them ideas for writing, and they go, "That's good," and then they would read part of it. That was Million Dollar Baby was the script we were working on in
I
class.
love that movie.
I know, but if you saw how many different ways we were going with that until it came up to that, it's amazing. The process was amazing for me to watch, and seeing that movie. That Paul Haggis was like, I'm directing it, I'm producing it. This is my Million Dollar Baby. He was going to do it,
Really?
and then Clint Eastwood said, I read it and goes, we're having lunch, and had lunch with Bobby and Paul Haggis said, no, I want to do this, but you guys are not involved. I'm going to be directing.
Oh my
I'm
God.
going to be the guy. And they're like, do we do this? Because it would be huge. It would be a huge hit if Clint Eastwood did it. Or do we stick to our guns and say, we're going to make it? And so they gave it to Clint Eastwood. And I think they made the right choice. It was a brilliant movie, and it went
so
really
heartbreaking.
well.
Oh.
But that's when they got together and said, the next one, we are not going to do that. And that was Crash. And they stuck to their guns and made Crash.
Let's go to a clip of Crash.
Right,
Okay.
like you, I have right to buy guns.
Not in my store, you know. Andy, get him out of here now.
Dad, go wait in the car.
Now, get out.
Hey, Matt, give me shoot eyes. You're
Get him out
an
of here.
ignorant man.
Oh, yeah, I'm ignorant? You're liberating my country, and I'm flying 747s into your mud huts and incinerating your friends. Get the fuck out of my
No,
store.
you get the fuck.
Get out.
Okay.
No, don't touch me. He cheated me, this man.
Andy, now.
Yeah,
Let's go.
okay.
So you're in the, how did you end up? Sure, you did this workshoppy thing in class. How do you end up in it? They're like, hey, you want to be in a movie or what?
No, they were very appreciative of a lot of the people in the class that were working so hard on this. You know, we did scenes like that in class, and like, how do we work it? And we would do it. And Paul, I think Paul and Bobby just said, we should try and get as many people in the class in this movie as possible for helping us out.
So cool.
And so I think there's like 15 people in the class that got into that movie, into Crash.
Did you have any idea the movie would end up getting the attention that it got?
None whatsoever. And I'll be honest, I'm going to be totally truthful.
Sure.
I hope Bobby or Paul never see this, but I thought it was getting too much. When we were doing it, you're trying to get, okay, stick to this. This makes sense. This is about racism, and this but now you're, what about this racism? What about this? People do this too. I thought, no, it's not going to work. It's just too much. You're showing too much of the problem. Stick to one, focus on one.
Yeah.
So I was not thinking it was going to work. I'm like, I was happy to make a movie. Don't get me wrong.
Sure, of
but
course.
but then we made the movie, and I love how both of those guys work together, because Paul is he wants it this way, specifically this way, and he knows what he wants. Bobby's like, I want to get as much as I can out of the actors. And Bobby's like, you're going to sit and he's going to talk to you like that, and that's, you're just going to tolerate? You're not going to do. And just before they're like, sound, speed, I mean, I wouldn't. Would you really do that? And action. You're like, and you get you right in the moment, and you just start acting. And it was a great combination, those two. I thought they worked really well together.
Now you have these, because obviously this movie went on to be big, but you have these experiences like in New York where you audition for Law and Order and to get you this other opportunity. And then working in this class, people are seeing you work, and then they throw you other opportunities. Do you find now with self-taping, your bookings have changed? because you're not getting those
Yes.
same in the room opportunities?
Absolutely. I think when I get in the room, I'm able to talk to people freely.
Sure.
I'm able to be friendly with people, make somebody laugh. That all of a sudden they perk up and will start paying attention. If
Yeah.
I do this, I just feel like it's like this person, they watch a few seconds now, and then they watch the next one. No, delete, delete, delete.
Sure.
Some of the 15 guys that I asked for, bring me those, and they'll watch those. That one's good, and that one. So send those 3 along. I think that's what happens. Is you just
bet
get
you're right.
lost. Yeah, and I understand it's a sign of the times. I don't know, but I'm not going to goon it up by going, like I know some people go, "Hey, I'm Jayden Lund," and try to make it memorable. And I know I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. You know, ugh. So I don't know, but I
imagine that must rub them the wrong way when people do that. Like,
oh
hey,
yeah, I would. I know I would hit delete immediately if I saw
me
that.
too. Like, ugh, that guy again.
Yes. Yeah, it's
Do you
unfortunate.
like it at all?
What's that?
Do you like it at all? Like, I do like it, but I understand for people who used to go in the room and get these other opportunities, they must miss that. Because I've spoken to other actors that are like, I used to book all the time when I got in the room because I would, they'd spin something else my way. But
I have friends that love. I have friends that love this because they don't have to drive all over LA.
Yes.
Especially my friends that are commercial actors, although commercials are drying up. But back when they would have to do 7, 8 commercial auditions a week, they're burning so much gas going down to down to Santa Monica for an audition and then buzz over here for an audition. It was a lot, and it just gets frustrating. So they're very happy just to pop on 5 auditions here, boom, boom, boom. Next, I'm done. I did it all this morning. I'm great. There is benefits to that. I'm not saying that if we could do, but I kind of would like to go to merge it somehow. Maybe a Zoom audition. I don't mind that I don't have to leave my house, and it's easier for you guys. Don't have to have a. But if it was a Zoom, I'm like, hey guys, how are you? Yeah. Now I was thinking about doing it this way, but is he angry or is he not? Just asking a question. Got it. Okay, and then start off. And if they go, no, Jay, he's not angry at all. Ooh, I'm glad I asked that question because I thought okay. I feel I would be so much better in just a Zoom rather than just filming it the way I think it's. The 3 pages you sent me is the only thing I have to go on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to come up with what I think you want, but I have no notes from a director, no notes from a casting director, nothing. And I guess this is it. And I could be way off.
In LA, do you get, because I know for some of the I'm in Connecticut and I audition in New York, but with self-taping, I see often that they will give you the opportunity to request a virtual audition. Do they do that in LA as well?
I've seen that a couple times recently, yeah. And I just go, oh, wow, there's that. I don't know what that is. And I should ask my friends about that because nobody's done it that I know of, but I would love to try it. If I see it again, I might try it. Yeah.
I've never done it because I like to totally be in control. I don't know, taking all the logistics out. I know
it's terrible to be an actor that just says, mold me, I'm clay, whatever you want, but there is a part that wants to.
I want that when I'm on set. Like, mold me, tell me what to do, tell me what you want. I want to please you. Please.
Exactly. There's nothing worse than a director that goes, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. Do something else. And action. Wait a second.
What is that? Something else.
I've rehearsed this in my head. This is what I think it should be done. Give me why is it not working?
Yes.
I'm so frustrated because it's just like I want to work. I want to please you. Tell me
exactly. But this is your baby. How do I help you make it your baby? Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I have other clips to play. Can I don't know what I want to play. I have like 3. Actually, I'm going to do a few in a row. I don't want to keep you forever, though I do want to keep you forever, but there's a couple more things I want to talk about. Let's play a couple of clips. Here's the first one.
Get off me! You idiot convention! Every year you line up on my lawn, block my driveway. It's my property, guys! I'm gonna have you arrested!
Throw a bottle at me! Sir, get back in the gurney! Right now, we need you back in the gurney. Thank you. That's 6, please.
For those who don't know, that was Grey's Anatomy.
Yes.
So you start booking, because like I said, you have a bazillion credits. So obviously after Crash, things really started picking up. And would you say that Crash led to more opportunities, which led to this?
I think so. I mean, once you start booking, then other agents are interested. You can move up, up the ladder as far as agents. You have more
Yeah.
options. And friend goes, that agent's really great. If they're asking you to switch, you probably should. So you can switch an agent. You can get
Yeah.
bigger auditions. You're now going into auditions that aren't just 4 lines on something. You're going on, wow, this is a guest spot that's really a great role. Then it changes because I don't know how people book here's your pizza, sir. Thanks for the tip.
That's so
Anybody
hard.
can do. How do you book it? I don't know. I mean, isn't everybody doing this the exact same way? I
Yes.
don't understand how do people. But when you get into roles that actually involve acting, wow, okay, now let me just sink my teeth into this and do it. It's great.
I know they're easier the ones you can sink your teeth into.
Yes,
As opposed to the pizza delivery guy, because exactly like you said, how do you do this other than here's your pizza? That's all they want.
Exactly, yeah. And how did I not get it?
How was working on this show specifically, that experience?
It was great. I was a little in my head here. Usually I like to go around and meet everybody and talk to everybody and mingle. I didn't know where they were going to say action, and I had to be at, level 9 and be curious. So I was just kind of, and I'm not this type of actor, but this is the one time I did. I was kind of staying character, even in between takes, because I didn't want them to say action and go,
and you're being lethargic. Like,
wait. And I was like, let me, and I was rocking back and forth and sitting there going, and just jumping up and down, and trying to stay, in that moment. And people coming up, and it was the most terrifying thing is they brought in 2 nurses, and I didn't do a good job with it because they were stunt women, and they're both about 5'2" and 5'3", and they're tiny. They're next to me, just go ahead and throw me into this wall. And I'm like, yeah. Well, yeah. And so I'm just kind of tapping her shoulder and just kind of doing like an actor's, looking like I'm throwing her. And she's like, you're not pushing at me at all. You really have to throw me into the wall. I'm like, I don't know. No, trust me, I can take it. They want to hit 6 things on the way down. They're stunt people. They want to get hurt. And it's like, so it took me so long to start throwing these poor nurses all around. That was really uncomfortable. It's like, but after a while, they just get it back up and they brush off and go, that was a good one. That was a good one. Just throw a little harder, just a little harder.
And then you get
okay. And but that was, I enjoy that stuff. That was it was a pretty powerful scene, just to be that angry that long. And I wanted to stay angry just because I felt it would be harder to go in and out of it.
That is so hard, like keeping the stamina up as an actor, especially like when you're waiting in your trailer and they're like, we're going to call you any minute. Oh, any minute.
Right.
And an hour passes, any minute now. And you're like, I got to keep this
yeah.
energy, got to keep it. And then
it
starts to fade. And you're like, wait, oh, now. Okay.
Oh yeah.
It's so hard. I'm going to play
really
another one.
Is. Okay.
I like
All right.
I think this is my favorite other ones I grab. So many things, I think, because they don't want to pay people residuals, are so hard to grab nowadays. They're just unfindable. But this is one I really like.
Hold on, where's Tully?
On vacation.
He never said anything to me about a vacation.
Why would he tell you?
We have a relationship. He's been collecting my garbage for years.
Mister, relax, okay?
Okay. Wait. You have to start from this end. Tully always starts from this end. Didn't Tully mention me?
Believe me, I would have remembered. What's in here?
Water.
You're throwing away water?
When you get to the dump, my bags go in Sector 9.
Sector 9?
Tully puts my garbage in Sector 9, so it's separate.
Right, Sector 9. You got it, Sector.
Have a good day.
It's so good. And I saw they brought you back like a season or 2 later.
Yeah, there was a strike, a garbage strike, and they said, let's bring the garbage guys back. And so, I got another episode out of it. That's a great phone call to get when didn't even audition for anything. Go, Jay, you're working next week on what?
And it had been like a year or 2, right? Since you
it was. It really was. Yeah.
That is so cool. That says something about you as well as an actor.
I'll tell you, Tony Shalhoub is also a producer on that show, so he oversaw casting and stuff. So he saw my audition, and my first one was he's running after the garbage truck because he wants to grab something that he threw away, and he wants to go through it. And he's running. That was our first shot so I had to get up and just stand there. I had no lines. I was just going to stand as the garbage truck was driving away. He's going to run. He's like, and Tony Shalhoub's getting ready, and he's trying to get nerves ready, and he's looking up, and he sees me hanging off the back. He goes, "Wait a second, wait! I'm so sorry. Stop!" And he ran up to me and he goes, "I saw your audition. I'm so happy to be working with you and stuff. Thank you." I'm like, "Oh my God!"
That is so nice. I love it when people are like that.
I brought up Bruno Kirby earlier. I think Tony Shalhoub and Bruno Kirby are two. It's incredible to meet people like that because it's not the norm in LA. That are dedicated to their acting, are very talented in acting, and also make it a point to make everybody else feel comfortable, being a great person. And I can't say enough about either one of those people.
Now, that reminds me of something because those are some very nice experiences, but you also told me you ran into another actor named Jeremy Piven. Tell us about him.
That is the other end of the spectrum, in my opinion. I do not understand that guy. But yeah, I've worked the door in many places, in bars and restaurants all over LA as I've gone up. And I've run into Jeremy Piven a couple times, and I've never met anybody that's just so can't wait to tell you and condescend to you that you don't talk to me, I talk to you. And I'm like,
gross.
Holy cow. And I think I smiled and went, "I'm sorry, what?" And that got him even more angry. And, where is your manager? I'd like to see, he's right over there, sir. He's right over there. Like, I don't know what's going on, but if you think I'm going to lose my job.
And you're so tall, maybe it's just like you intimidated him and he's just like, whatever.
Maybe, but I can't say, I do not like Jeremy Piven. And I'm not afraid to say that. I don't know why he lives the life he lives. It seems like you're wasting a lot of energy going through life like that. That sounds crazy to me, but that's what he does.
That's funny because those are kind of the characters he plays. These kind of pricky people. So it's funny.
Yeah, and he's great at it. He's great, but but you don't have to be off the set when the camera stops. You don't have to be that.
Acting.
Right. Exactly.
One other thing I want to ask you about. So, okay, people, don't ever watch a Jeremy Piven thing again unless Jay is in it. But ignore the Piven scenes. You also, when I first moved to LA, I was a production assistant on several TV shows. The most grueling, non-rewarding work in all the world. You did it as well.
I did. And the longest I did was over at NBC Studios. That's where I met Bill Narducci is over there. And I was a PA, and I think he was a writer's assistant at the time. And that
Bill Narducci
still looks exactly the same as I remember.
He does. This is after Jay beat him up.
Oh man, it's tough. But it's. I guess I had kind of the luxury of when I was being a PA over there that you'd get into it, but I got to run the camera for auditions for pilots over at NBC. As a PA.
That's cool.
Yeah, so there were things, if you could find jobs like, look, they need somebody to run the camera during pilot season, I would be interested in that. Like, okay, Jay, you'll do that. You know what? Let's just have Jay do them for pilot season. I'm like, this is amazing. So I didn't have as horrible experience as you did, but once it went back to the grind, I hated it. But man, I learned a lot watching people audition and seeing what not to do.
For them as well?
No. I just ran. They had a reader in there, and I would just run the camera.
And that's an example of a thing that impressed you in there, like an actor. You're like, oh, they're doing something right, versus someone that did something really wrong. Do you have examples?
Oh, absolutely. So first off, I would tell any new actor that the audition starts when you walk in that door. Do not be looking at your script going, hey guys, what's up? Okay. All right. Hey guys, how you doing? How's everything? That does not work. You're trying to show that you're so into working on it up to the last second that you think it doesn't work. People roll their eyes at that nonsense.
So you think it's a performance? You think that they're not actually still working, making sure they're in the zone?
If they are, then why would you want to cast somebody that's not even listening or paying attention to anybody else? They're just coming in only trying to do their stuff. Yeah, that would I would if I was a director and I saw that, I go, how am I going to tell him what to do? He's just so into it. Go, yeah, thanks, yeah, okay, let's do this.
Oh.
I would not cast that person. That's what it's telling me.
note.
Yeah. Also, people that come in and go, hey, how's everybody doing? No, that doesn't work either. If you come in and you go, if you want to ask a question, I think it's great to ask questions. You guys, you want me here? Is the best here? And am I talking this way? Okay. How am I? Don't ask all these questions, but any one of these would work. How am I doing? You got me here to here, or can I walk? Can I take a step? Yeah, you can do it. I'll follow you or whatever. They'll tell you stuff. That's somebody that's been on a set. That's somebody that's comfortable with auditioning. That's what they want. And so I would try to act as comfortable, asking them, being polite. Don't act like, yes, I'm a big fan of yours. You're my favorite casting director. None of that works. None of it. Just go, hey, how are you? Yes, nice to meet you. It's nice to finally meet you. That works. That's fine. But don't go overboard with any of that. Don't act like I'm so obsessed with this show. Oh, my God, I want to be on this show. No, I would not do any of that.
You must have been like, oh God, stop. When you're just sitting there.
Some of it was. But the worst is seeing somebody you've never seen before, and they'll come in, and before that, they'll go, the cast will be going, I saw this guy in a play, and he is hysterical, and I just think he's perfect for the part. And they'll go, okay. He comes in, and he goes, hey, how are you doing? And he nails it. I watched 32 in a row, and nobody gets it, and this guy is brilliant. And he gets called back. And he's standing in the lobby, and I walk in, and he goes, hey man, you're the camera guy, right? Yeah. So how did it go? And I go, dude, you nailed it, man. I watched all of them. You were the best. And he goes, oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. And he came in the audition, nailed it again. He never got the part. They gave it to some name guy that wasn't even in the audition.
Of course.
And I was like, I felt so ugly telling him that he was the best by far, getting his hopes up when I don't even know if they were going to cast anybody from this. Were they just going to make an offer?
I think in his head, I think ultimately after he didn't get it, that it probably was a win in his head to know that he knows he did well in the room. He didn't screw up.
Oh, he did. Yeah.
He knows the politics of it all.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's the ugly part of this business is
it's
no matter how great you are.
Business.
Yeah. If you're the best, lawyer from Harvard, you're going to go to the best law firm. If you're the best actor, good luck. Break a leg, I wish you all the best. There's no fast track.
Especially now that things are so sparse, because we find that people that might take some larger roles are coming down to mid-sized roles and the small roles. And
right.
Making it more challenging because they, obviously if someone has a slight name, they're going to go with them first.
Right. Yeah, it's so true. And now we got to worry about I'm terrible at Instagram and all the social medias, but people are saying if you don't have 100,000 followers, you're not going to get in these low budget features. I'm like, well, I can't. I'm not going to start doing that. But people are trying to convince me, and I'm like, I got to look into this. I got to see if this is true. That
do you have a social media?
Yeah, but I barely use it. I get on there every once in a while to just check other people. I don't get on and go, hey guys, check me out. But I will do it for this. When this comes out, I'll go, everybody check me out on this.
Yeah, so. I mean, I have an actor one where I share some stuff. I certainly do not have 100,000 followers, and I have a human one because it feels so silly to post the actory stuff. But I know it's a thing, but I think it's maybe the younger people that have like 100,000 people.
I know, but I hear people go, it's unfortunate because the low budget feature films that I have a shot at, they take it seriously because they think the more influencers, the more people will go to the movie and watch the movie. So if we get this guy with 100,000 followers, 100,000 people will come see the movie. Yeah, it's like I don't think it equates to that, but whatever. I can't convince
I might get them 50 people.
Right.
At most.
And that's legitimate. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, liar.
Right.
I'm going to play one more clip, and then I want to talk about your kiss and tell.
Okay. All right.
Here it is.
Love doing this movie. I love the guys, working with the guys.
It looks so fun.
Max Martini directed that, and I've known him back in my New York days, back in the 90s. We met. I think he was 19 and I was 20, 21 when we met. We just stay in touch, and he's does great. He's working.
What's it
constantly.
called? The title's like
The Manson Brothers Midnight Zombie Massacre.
I've not seen the whole movie, and I've actually interviewed another actor that was in this film in one of my earlier
really?
interviews, and I'm blanking on his name, but he's like in the opening scene. It looks really fun. I need to watch it.
It's a great, yeah. It's. I loved making this movie. I wish I could make a movie like this every year. It's so much fun. These guys were so much fun to work at. They were all, they were either ex wrestlers, ex military, or they were real. I mean, these were real tough guys. That's Randy Couture in there. That's one of the toughest dudes. He's ex UFC
champion. The one being
champion.
scary towards you.
No, they're the sweetest guys in the world. They're the nicest guys in the world. Working with these guys was the funnest I've ever had working on and I think I felt so comfortable because Max Martini was a friend of mine for 100 years, and so him being the director, he kind of let me go. At times he's like, yeah, just do it. Let's try. Jay, that was funny. Don't do it so long though, or whatever. I love that he just let me come up with this character, and I
that's a dream.
Man, yeah, it really is. If you just do a fun movie like that a year, boy, my life would be so happy.
It'll happen. It'll continue to happen. You just
I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm always positive. I'm positive. It's just a little rough, but yeah, absolutely.
No, I hear it's the state of the business right now, but there'll be more. I could play clips of you all day long. I just wanted to get some throughout your career. So can you tell us about your Kiss and Tell, which was, I believe the word was fame, because you love
I picked this. I had several ones when you asked me to come up with a Kiss and Tell. This one is about Matt Damon, because I read a lot. I met Matt Damon. We worked on The Informant together, and he was so nice to me. Now he was trying to he gained 40 pounds for the role, and he was trying to maintain that. So at the bar, there was a bar in Decatur, Illinois, in the hotel we were all at, and we pretty much only were in the hotel or at the bar there. We didn't really venture out. And so after shooting, we would just go and have a couple beers at the bar, and Matt Damon would come with us, talking just like another person. He was a great guy. I mean, so approachable and such a nice guy, and drinking these dark beers because he was trying to get as much calories as he could before he go. And I loved talking with him. I just thought, I think people are wrong. He's a great guy, and he's very approachable. Love to talk about acting, love to talk about, scenes and stuff.
Yeah.
I loved it. So, but the problem is you'd read stuff where people think, oh, he's an ass. I met him. He's a jerk and whatever.
I haven't seen that stuff.
You haven't?
No, but I'm out of the loop.
I read it somewhere. I'll tell you one that I figured out why it happened. While we were shooting, we're in this old house in Decatur, Illinois, filming, and it started raining, and the pitter patter on top of the roof was too loud. We had to stop. We had to wait for the rain to pass. So I'm just talking to Matt, and we're just by this window. We're talking, and and he just opens the window and he looks out and he goes, "There's 40 people at the gate in the rain, just standing in the rain."
Oh.
And he goes, "Are those people waiting to get an autograph from me?" And I go, "I think so. Yeah, they're just waiting in the rain for an autograph." And I'm like, "Yeah, isn't that crazy?" And he goes, "Oh my God, sorry everybody." And he ran out and signed everybody. Gave everybody an autograph. And nobody ran home and said Matt Damon's the greatest guy in the world, but I thought that was pretty amazing that he did that.
Yeah, that's lovely.
So then we're back in LA a couple weeks later, shooting the same movie in a court scene out in Pasadena. And they found out Matt Damon's there, and there's crowds of people trying to get autographs. So they go, "We can't go to drop you off at the front. It's going to be mayhem. We're going to have a tunnel and have you walk underneath the tunnel and come up right to the court, so you don't have to be bothered by anybody." He goes, "All right." So they go down the tunnel, and a guy knew it was just waiting down there, hoping they'd go to the tunnel. And he's got tons of stuff. Sign my poster. No. Can you sign this? Can you sign that? And he goes, "Man, I am late right now, but I'm going to be back in about 3 hours after the set. I'll sign whatever you want when I come back. All right?" And the guy goes, "Awesome. I'll stay." Goes up, does 3 hours of scene. Well, after the 3 hours of scene, everybody had left. Wait for Matt Damon. So they didn't have to go in the tunnel. They just pulled the car out front. He walked out and he went home. Didn't think much of it. That guy wrote the nastiest thing about Matt Damon, about how horrible he is. He made me wait 3 hours to sign this stuff. And I'm like, I see your point, dude, but that is not what he did. He wanted to help you out. It's just when you're on the set, like, hey, here's your car. Exactly. People can be cruel that way. And I wanted to say that because you meet somebody and you go, and he's a great guy, but he's
Yeah.
not going to ever be able to dodge all the people that can't wait to write something bad about him. You know, I don't.
I worked in a movie theater in New York City in the late 90s when he was doing Goodwill Hunting. And he came in, he was doing, I guess it was a screening, and he talked at it. And my wife's like, "Oh, Matt Damon's there." We were newlyweds, and she came in and she's like, "Oh, can you autograph they were giving away mini posters," and he autographed her mini Goodwill Hunting poster. And I wanted to be a filmmaker, and I'm like, "Hey, I hear you're working on this movie Rounders in town. Can you give me are there any PA jobs?" And he gave me the number for the production office. He was so nice.
Wow.
He wasn't as huge yet then, but
but he was still big.
Yeah.
Rounders too. Love that movie too. Oh,
yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear he was that cool though to everyone else.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. I had a couple of stories to tell. I don't know if that was the type of kiss and tell story you were looking for.
Great.
But
that was great. If you want to share another, it's up to you.
Well, another way I wanted to go is same movie, working with Steven Soderbergh, Academy Award-winning director. You go into The Informant, and he, I'm nervous working with an Academy Award-winning director.
Sure.
And so I came on as soon as I came on the set. He was like, "Jayden," I go, "Yeah," and he goes, "Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so happy to work with." I'm like, "Holy cow, what a great guy!" And that really calms you down, really. And I asked him a few questions. Do you feel this? Will it get too big if I say that? And he'll go, "Not for this movie. No, Jay, I'm confident you've done your work. Let's roll." He is not concerned about trying to direct you, and so we talk about low budget movies, and the director going, "No, not that. No, just anything but that," and you get so more frustrated. He's trying to make you feel as comfortable as possible. So we walk into a hotel room, and it's Scott Bakula and Matt Damon and myself, and we're just talking. We're just waiting for them to set up. And this is red camera, so you don't have a lot of lighting to set up. You don't have a lot of stuff that you normally do. And we're just talking, and I go, "What about last night?" "No, didn't you say this?" And we were talking and joking. "No, you said that." We're just kind of riffing about what we were joking about the night before. And all of a sudden, Steven says, "Okay, guys, you ready?" I go, "Oh, yeah, sorry. Where's my mark?" And "No, right there. We're going to film right as you are." "What?" And I just looked at both of them. They had been working with him for a while ago. So this is what he does. Yeah. If he feels this is how you guys comfortably talk to each other, that's exactly how I want to film.
Oh, that's so awesome. That would be
amazing. And I'm like going, everything was so easy. He made everything so much easier. And I'm like, I thought the bigger the director, the harder it would be to work with them. Yeah. It's the exact opposite. What a
dream. What a cool experience.
Yeah.
I don't know why I haven't seen that movie. I need to see it. And now that I know you are in it, I have to see it.
Oh yeah. And I've had two different responses. People go, "It's not what I thought it was," so I could never get into it. The narration of the movie is from an insane person. So it kind of gets weird. And it's a comedy. So you're like, he'll just all of a sudden start talking about, this freakish thing is happening, and you should be stressing out, like, "Oh my God, they're going to find out. The FBI are going to find out," and all this stuff. And he's like going, and in his mind, he's thinking, "Do you know polar bears cover up their nose when they're waiting for seals to come out of a hole? Do they know their nose is dark and that's why they cover it up? How do they know their nose is dark?" And that's what he's thinking at the time of this stressful time. And people are like, going, "I didn't get that. I don't get it." He's crazy. That's why and it's so hard to convince people. I've heard people love it, and I've heard people, I wasn't really into it. I can't convince people. I liked it. I got what he was trying to do. I loved it.
Looks like it must have been an amazing experience working on that.
Absolutely. Film. I mean, I could go on and on about that experience. I could go on for another hour about it.
I could talk to you about all these projects for another hour. Is there any other, because you gave some advice about, you had some other advice earlier, but do you have any additional advice of something you wish you had known coming up in the business?
Specifically, what do you mean?
Well, you were kind of talking when you were working behind the camera as a PA, you saw some people come in and don't do this, don't act like you own the room or vice versa.
Yeah. Just advice in general about
if you have any acting advice that you're like, what you think is most valuable information, and no pressure.
Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Be when I'm acting my best, I know I'm confident. I know I've just come off of something where I know I'm very comfortable with where I'm at. And people say, hey, I'm very comfortable. I don't have to overthink it. I don't have to go, why? Maybe this character has a limp. Maybe he's got a twitch. And people overthink because they think it'll be interesting to do all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Throw all that away. Just be real. Be in the moment. Try to simplify it as easy as possible, and be confident that that is enough. That is what I would tell any actor. It is so much more interesting to see somebody just talking and go, yeah, I think that was I think that was him. It's so much easier to watch somebody do that, just thinking really, and go, I think that was him. No, dude, just be real.
I find
be
that
real,
stuff so distracting when people do
I know it.
that. It's like, oh, yeah. Do you have any hocus pocus when you get onto a set? Something you have to do to get in the zone, or you just get in there and you're like, I'm gonna do my job and act?
I used to try and yawn, which sometimes is impossible to do. But I know if you yawn, the yawn is relaxing your body. So I would try and yawn. I'm like, how stressed am I? Can I yawn? And I'm like, sit there. Oh, I can't. I'm a little nervous. All right.
No.
And I just try, but then I'll just keep trying to calm myself and calm. And then just sit there and then if I can get a yawn in, I'm like, okay, I'm not stressed anymore. I can get out. Let's do this.
It's kind of nice to hear from a guy that has so much stage experience, and that's where you started, that you still get nervous. You can still get those butterflies. That's nice to hear.
Constantly. I hope that never leaves me. I think I'd be terrified if it left me, because that, I think, has been the drive, is to get over that nervousness.
Sure.
If I can battle that nervousness now, then there's nothing stopping me. I don't know. I would feel weird if it went away though, but I'm nervous on everything.
Me too. Look, we're not alone. Good. That's good. I like your way of looking at it though. Thank you so much for your time. Is there anything you want to promote or talk up? Can people stalk you on Instagram?
Certainly. I'm Jayden Lund, at Jayden Lund, Instagram. Please do stalk away. I don't have anything coming up. I'm doing some stuff. A friend of mine I used to do sketch comedy with. He's starting to put film all of the sketches we did back in the day. I think he's going to start putting them up on social media or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I think YouTube. I think that's exactly what he's trying to do, and just see how. So I'm excited. We haven't started that yet. We're going to start this coming weekend. I'm excited to do that. I love doing
with that.
Thank you.
And make sure to share it on Jayden Lund on Instagram, so we know where to find that when it's up.
I would definitely will. I'll start being more putting stuff on. I don't think I'm putting anything up on
Get those
Instagram or
some followers. Come on.
I know. I gotta get better. Ian, it's so great meeting you. I can't thank you enough for doing this. This has been awesome. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. I've kept you forever, but I really appreciate it.
No, not at all. Love it. Yeah.
Hang on tight for 1 second. Goodbye, everyone else. Like, share, tell your friends, and stalk Jay or Jayden.
Okay, these are the parts